Here we go, guys. I told you I was gonna shave, so I did. What's happening? What's happening? Everything okay with everybody? I'm really pumped up because I trained today. That forearm popping out. What's this? I'm pale, man, and I'm thin. But it's coming together, man. I mean, the energy is certainly there. And today I really put some focus into these arms, you know. I really am. So pop in, join the chat, let's go. Um, just to start off the live. It's been pouring raining and I shaved, so I have to be extremely careful with my neck. You see I got a bunch of things on because I put everything for the winter away because you know we got like 20 degrees, 25 degrees. We don't need a winter jacket or beanie hats and stuff like that. But hey, today was windy and rainy. I was like, oh my god, I just shaved my neck. Because my thought goes there. Because as soon as the humidity comes in and there's a drop or a change in temperature, my neck just goes banana, man. It's really subject to that. But for now, it's keeping it together. I managed to train today. This morning was absolutely stunning. It was nice and sunny this morning. It started raining in the afternoon. So I woke up this morning, blue sky, sun coming out, tremendous, beautiful breeze. And I just attacked the workout. That's all you gotta do. So I started off with some dips, as I always do, as you may already know if you've been already here. I start with the dips. Then I went straight into the incline chest press. I did a 45 degrees angle, then a 30 degrees angle, and then I went to the flat. And I do them in a kind of a tricep fashion because I want to keep some sort of endurance. Do you know what I mean? And do some kind of cardio as well at the same time. Yeah. So I did that 45 kg, I believe 550 kg, something like that, and I just smashed it, and it gave me a good pump. Then I did incline dumbbells fly, awesome, and then just dumbbell fly on the bench, flat on the bench, and that gave me, because what the dumbbell flies do to me, perhaps to everybody, give me a good stretch on the attachment here, where the pec, attach. I feel a good stretch. I do it with the low weight and lightweight perhaps and high reps because I like to be in absolute comfort with the weights when the weight is so far away for me and the shoulder is very much exposed. I don't want to blow my shoulders. So I go for controlled movement, and it works magic for me. I get a good pump, and that is all that matter. I get good breathing in, and it works fantastic for me. Then and then I jumped into arms. I did a barbell bicep curl. It works magic for me. And then some preacher curls. I managed to find a way to do some preacher curls. They are awesome for me, absolutely awesome. And then I jumped into overhead arm extension for the tricep, you know. And then I finished it off with some shoulder shrugs. Yeah. And And then I attack the shoulders as well. Um, the further I go into the session, the more fatigued I am, obviously, the lighter the weight I use. And I try to flip it, you know? So next time I start with I started with the chest. Next time I start with the arms and I flip them around just to shock the body a little bit. Because obviously going further I get more fatigued, so I want to be safe. So I always go for lighter weight and higher reps. By the time I got to the shoulders this morning, my arms were heavy, my chest was sore, so I had to be extremely careful. So I grabbed a very light weight and I just went for movement, for good, perfect range of motion, and lightweight, nice and controlled, and it'll make it difficult for me. And lengthening the time under tension, you can make 3 kg feel like 20 kg if you know how to do it and you allow enough reps. And that works magic for me because with lightweights, I learn obviously the move and how to get the nice contraction of the muscle. I get that brain muscle connection, very famous by now. And it works for me. And all I do, I go like 80%, 75 to 80% failure, close to failure. I can't do any further because I'm alone. That's what I think is 75, 80%. Who knows? It's just throwing numbers. That's my perception, that I'm like 20% off being completely done. But obviously, when you train alone for safety reasons, you can't go 100%, right? But let me tell you, I feel a nice pump right now talking to you. And I feel good. I ate quite a bit today. And this is my problem, if I'm honest with you, because I thought I was gonna gain weight faster than what I'm doing, you know. And as a fact, I am not. I'm quite stuck at 78, 77 kilograms, and I can't get it higher. I feel like I eat like an animal. Not as much as I used to. I used to be able to eat way more, but I can still eat. But hey, let's see how it goes in the next month. Yeah, if I should gain some weight by then, and we'll see. But for now, my weight is still the same. So yeah. I do not know. We have to trial and error. Trial and errors we need. That's what we need, bro. But anyway, man, I mean, for me, my favorite is, because we want to talk about the arms, yes. Arms. So obviously, you want to talk about biceps, triceps, right? And the serratus muscle that goes in between the biceps and goes through your, I don't know if you can see it, right here, this one here, okay? And they are muscle susceptible, I guess that's how you say it, to training. I mean, they grow. If you put work on them, they should work. They should grow. For me, the thing that I'm focusing on, watching how Larry Scott used to train, because Larry Scott was, for the ones who don't know, the first Mr. Olympia and won the first 2 Mr. Olympia in 1965 and 1966, and he had arms the size of my head. Okay, so instead of listening to Mr. Nobody, I go straight to the source, and I did some research, and I actually watched everything there is about him, and there is quite some material, so you can learn it. You can learn the secret science, and obviously the preacher curls are a big thing in the Larry Scott method. As a fact, they were called the Scott curls because he actually invented them. Okay, before those years, there wasn't a preacher curl. There was no preacher curls. People would just stand, curl standing. The preacher curls, for a long time called Scott curls. A lot of people still call it Scott curl. Is is an exercise where basically you should have a kind of a bench in front of you, some sort of, it's not a bench, kind of place where you can lay your elbows on in this fashion, okay? And your elbows have been held by something, right? So you're not fighting gravity. Your elbows are on top of something, and then you get that, right? This is the movement. When you do movement this far out with the elbow, the attachment here, right, is the one that's going to be more exposed, right? And obviously remember to rotate. Even if you wanted to show me your bicep and you do this, it's one thing, but the moment I do this, I rotate, the bicep pop out. And so when you, right? If you do it with the dumbbell, obviously. If you do it with the straight bar, is great as well. When you do the bicep with your wrist like this, you're actually working more the serratus. So not the actual bicep, okay? Bicep need this motion, the rotation inward of the wrist, okay? That's a little secret tips. So even when you do the dumbbell bicep curls, good rotation of the wrist to get a maximum squeeze out of the motion. I'm a massive fan of time under tension. For me, is crucial. I don't like just going through the motion like this. I like a good breathing synced with the motion, right? I'm not doing one thing with my breathing and one other thing with my body. They're doing the same thing together, okay? So I need to get my breathing nice and in sync with the motion. That way, obviously, at the end of the motion, of the positive motion, you have to be breathing out. That, and allow the breathe out, okay? You will allow that you will be able, you will realize that you will be able to get way more contraction out of the muscle, way more contraction, and a way bigger pump, because you intentionally pushing blood in a particular area through your breathing, and it takes time. If you don't allow the contraction to happen if you're too fast, right? So secret, Mr. DJ. And let's see how this self-experiment is going, because obviously you may be here for the first time and you're like, who's this skinny dude talking about training for mass? You're perfectly right. I used to be a triathlete, long distance runner, Ironman, and you name it. If it wasn't super difficult and long, I wouldn't do it. You know, if it wouldn't require extreme endurance, I was not interested. Like marathon, I wasn't interested. Half marathon, not interested. It had to be something crazy. So I am an endurance athlete. So I always aim to be thin and light and agile, right? And now I am challenging myself to get a little bit bigger, just to try it out, you know. I've always been passionate about bodybuilding, right? Always. Um, so I always studied the training methods, what this guy did, what Arnold did, Ronnie did, Jay Cutler did. I wanted to study what they. And if I'm honest with you, even when I was an Ironman doing those crazy training, when I was under that crazy training regimen that I don't recommend anybody to do, that was foolish from me. And I would still do when I did my strength, I will emulate these athletes. Like I would steal they workout routine, you know. My problem is that I never got major benefit in terms of size because I was matching it with too much cardio. And people say like cardio should be limited and this and this and that when you do training for mass, when you aim for a hypertrophy. But that is actually not a complete statement, in my opinion. If you are training for mass, right? You are eating to grow. What you're gonna do when you go out, for instance, running at a moderate pace, you're not gonna be burning fat in that moment, but you're gonna be burning actual carbohydrates stored in your muscles, right? Sugar, literally, glycogen, whatever you want to call it, that thing that comes from carbohydrates stored within your muscle. When your heart rate reach a certain level, there is a switch because fat as source of energy is used when the heart rate is low. Right now, while I'm talking to you, although at very low rate, I am burning fat. I'm not burning sugar. My heart rate is low. Therefore, my body can allow to use fat to provide the energy. But as soon as my heart rate goes higher than that, higher to a certain BPM, my switch, the switch automatically happen, and I start using fuel in stored within my muscles. Okay. So with this being said, right, if you do cardio, but you walk, you just take a walk, a nice easy walk for an hour and a half, 2 hours with the dog, you will be burning fat. And that is cardio. Cardio is continuous motion, right? That's what it is. Continuous motion is cardio, essentially. And so that I believe it can be matched really well with training for mass, because you're burning fat in that moment. Your muscles are not going to be bothered, you know, by that. But if you do what I used to do, was bananas, mate. I used to go to the gym, work out half an hour, 40 minutes was always more than enough for me. And then, believe it or not, I don't need you to, but it is what it is. I used to go like 40 minutes completely messed up, go around for 2 hours straight after. Because in an Ironman, you swim, then you cycle, and then you run. It's a long thing. So by the time you get to running in an Ironman, however, for as much as you are well trained, you're gonna have some kind of fatigue. So you gotta get used to train or perhaps be able to run at certain pace, extremely fatigued, right? That's what you gotta learn. Is a mental battle, right? It's a severe punishment. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, Travis, hopefully, I hope you're still there, mate. Hello, bro. How you doing? You right? Sorry, I wanted to finish my point. I hope you're there, and yeah. So that's the worst thing you can do, because you training, you working out, you pushing blood in an area. You're supposed to eat, right? To replenish, right? To introduce the flesh, right? That's gonna be used to create new muscle tissue, right? Because fat don't become muscle tissue. Fat is either stored or burned. That's it. It has a lot of crazy important things. But yeah, it doesn't transform into muscle. As a fact, you have to, like I said, ingest your new muscles, literally. You have to create an excess of calories if you want a significant increase in muscle. There has to be an excess of calories. That was impossible for me. And also, I would do the 40 minutes workout, I would have a little snack and I go run, and then I keep snacking. So I wasn't even really replenished. I wasn't, what it was working for me, but not for growth, right? So let's see how my body reacts. I don't really know. Because, yeah, I have to see. I have to do some, yeah, try a couple of things to see what works. See how I go along the way. All I know is that I'm training like the best bodybuilders of all time trained, and it's not crazy to do. If you go a YouTube app, right, and you know them, right, you can find tons of material. Today you can train like Arnold, tomorrow like Jay Cutler, the day after. Don't ask ChatGPT, bro, for that, because it's not accurate. You gotta go search it, take notes, see the movements. Anyway, sorry for the break. Allahu Akbar, Fezanal. What's happening? You right? Subscribe, please. I'm talking fitness. I'm a massive fan of bodybuilding and bodybuilders as well. I studied them inside out. And periodically, sometimes I train like Dorian Yates, sometimes I train like Lee Haney, sometimes I train like Lee Priest, sometimes I train like whatever. You got. We have like YouTube is magic, because you have like an how do you say, encyclopedia? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you have whatever you're into, you can find everything about it on YouTube. Everything. And the same is for bodybuilding, You watch an interview, you watch a training session, you watch things, and you learn. And like, for instance, today I saw, I never seen anybody in the gym doing it. I never seen anybody mention it to me. and I never seen it in a book, but I see Larry Scott doing the shoulders from this motion to behind the, I can't even do it because I'm too sore, but from here, behind the head, elbows above the shoulder line. And I did that for shoulders today with a rotation of the wrist outward, right? And my head is coming forward, my elbows. So I'm creating tension behind. Brah. Tremendous exercise. And I found a video from the 90s of Larry Scott, like with the 200 views. Like, I just watched it, and what a bodybuilding mind, first of all. Like, it's a blessing. Like, I felt so like, you know, all this material is there for free to study, you know. And yeah, bro. So what I was saying another thing about the bicep, right? You got the attachment here, right? And the attachment on the top, right? When I'm doing the preacher curl, right? Obviously this attachment is more exposed. When I'm doing the chin-ups, the stretch is right here, right? So you got to do both to counterpart and to attack the bicep from a different, right? From a different attachment, right? And it's important also the outward, the inward, the wrist rotation inward. Very, very important, crucial. Time under tension on the top. Me, I'm a firm believer of the slow negative phase. To emphasize the negative portion of any exercise and execute it slowly and in a controlled fashion. That's key to me. While I'm breathing in, and on the positive phase, I breathe out, and at the end of the exercise, of the motion perhaps, I'm breathing out and I'm willingly looking for a contraction. That's the secret, bro. That's your secret right there. That's what it is. Yeah. No music. I don't believe in music while you train as a distraction. I find myself training in the music, in the rhythm of the music, and I don't want that. It's a distraction. Old school gyms did not have music. Not because they couldn't have it, because they didn't want to have it. You know, it's a distraction. And I've said it many times. I do believe the best workout you can do is the fastest and most intense one. Get the most out of the shortest period of time and get the hell out of that gym. Boom. The sooner the recovery time begins, the better it is. Obviously, I'm 40. I talk for 40 plus people that look for longevity. If you're 21, 20, if you're young like that, or perhaps around the 30, bro, you can conquer the world. Like, I can conquer the world, but I mean, it's not actually conquer the world, you can get away with pretty much anything on your 20s, on your 80, when you're 18, 20, you can do, you're like a rubber, you know? You're really resistant to damage, right? So you can get away with a lot. But as soon as you turn, I talk for me, as soon as I turned 38, 36, right? I felt a change in me. My recovery time, be honest, yeah, completely natural, right? Which I found silly that there's a need to say it, but even when I train like crazy, I never got up the bed in the morning completely destroyed, like I got run over by a train, you know, never. You wake up fatigue. You wake up tired. Maybe your brain is a bit foggy because of the fatigue and the sugar. And you need to eat and this and that. But you get on with the day. You know what I'm saying? That once you get moving and things and start talking to people, you get on with the day. Now I feel like some morning I feel like I got run over by a train. You know what I mean? I feel like, oh, like the aches hits you different, bro. Like you're like, oh my God, oh. You know? I never had that before. Never. I used to just drink a coffee and be fine. And if I was a bit more tired than usual, I will drink another coffee and then I will be fine. You know? But it came to a cost. You know? A couple of injuries. And all was over. Tell me I'm getting some subscribers. I've been talking for half an hour. I'm thirsty. I need a new subscriber. 1 or 2 perhaps. I'm dropping so much knowledge. It's crazy. Here's the thing about knowledge in fitness. It's as good as nothing. What I mean with it is that the knowledge, it can be limited to exercise execution. I can get that. Although we all different, we all have limbs of different sizes, and we all proportion differently. So even exercise can be executed different from person to person. Yeah. So even that, it's down to opinion. However, you can have a good knowledge of the basic mechanic of the body, of how to make sure that a certain targeted muscle is engaged. You can build a lot of knowledge in that. You can tell me the names of all the muscles on the planet, which you don't remember at all. How many bones we have. What is this plus this? You can tell me all the stories about fitness. So many stories. But ultimately, nothing would avoid you from starting with the trials and errors. Trial and errors are inevitable to everybody in this thing. When you start training, you will be exposed to trial and errors. You're gonna train in a way that don't work for you. Then you're gonna pick one that kind of work for you. Then you want to try this other one. Then you're gonna try eating this. You're gonna try eating that. People overcomplicate so much the eating thing. Just eat your food, man. Eat the way your mom used to feed you. How about that? I don't know what to eat. What your mom used to feed you. Keep going with that. In most cases, you're fine. But yeah, trial and errors are inevitable. You're gonna meet the guy that tells you about the high reps, low weight, the guy that tells you high weight, low reps, the guy that tells you do this way, the guy that tells you do this that way, and you're gonna find your spot in between the lines where this worked for me. Do you know what I mean? It's inevitable. It's inevitable. You can pick the best trainer in the world. Just go through trial and errors with you. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. There's no books that tells you something so specific. It doesn't work. And I'll give you an example. And I mention often Arnold because Arnold Schwarzenegger is very, a known figure. But Arnold Schwarzenegger used to train with a guy called Tom Platz. Tom Platz was one of the first guys that came out with monster legs. absolute monster legs, right? Massive legs. And he used to train 4 times a week. Okay, but he worked now. He used to train in the same gym with Arnold, uh, and uh, and he tried to train like Arnold for a short period of time. And Arnold would train 6 days a week, twice a day. Arnold had this ability to endure training, was gifted like that, and it worked for him. And Tom Platt says, I started training like Arnold and I started getting smaller. It didn't work for me at all. I couldn't keep it. I got smaller and I got weaker because I was too tired. It was too much for me. You see, that's a quite clear example of, oh, I'm going to train like Arnold. No, you're not. Probably you're not going to be able. There's very few people on the planet that can work out 2 hours a day in the morning, half an hour, 1 hour in the evening, 6 days a week. And there's a massive chance that you're not one of them. Otherwise, it would be evident if you were, you know. So yeah, you got to figure it out yourself. You got to figure it out with some patience. And the same thing goes for, I wanted to mention another thing and I forgot. Oh. Anyway, guys, this is a signal that I am tired. Right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I really dropped some knowledge about biceps. Make sure you get those preacher curls, those barbell, straight barbell, not the bend one. The bend one takes a lot of effort away from the bicep, but it engages the serratus, the one that goes through, right? So straight bar, bang, preacher curls, chin ups, and let's go, right? Let's go. Going big or going broke. Guys, I wish you good night. Like and subscribe. And I was nearly forgetting to drop the announcement. From next week, I want to try the desktop to do it on the computer. And I want to try, I want to start a little fitness community where people can share training methods, training styles, sessions, workouts, and all sorts of things. What I will be dropping, how the best bodybuilders of all time used to train. I'll be dropping some workout routine, some variations of things. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool, and it's gonna happen very soon. I need to get the Discord ready and everything. But yeah, I guess look, if you're a guy that likes to train, yeah, and for some reason the PTs you go around, you go to the gym, your PTs are not the most motivated at the moment, let's say, and you needed to keep yourself fresh with new things, you join the community. You get workout routines, new exercises, tips on how to perform some exercises, and things like that. So it will be very handy, very, very helpful. And yeah, I think it's a cool idea. And I leave you with that, guys. Food for thoughts. I wish you a good night. God bless.